Jesus in the Gospel gives his disciple a glimpse of his glory. After announcing that he will suffer death on the cross, he displays his true personhood. Jesus is not interested in fulfilling the messianic role that many have been expecting. He is not the political liberator who will emancipate Israel from the bonds of the Roman Empire. Jesus is his own Messiah because he is revelation and he is the Word which became flesh, and he is God. And just in case we doubt it, he gives a glimpse of such. And what a sight to behold. At Mount Tabor, he is transported to another world. We see his face bathed in light and magnificence. Ironic, isn't it? The one who will be crucified, vilified, and humbled stands in front of those men, luminous, divine, and transfigured. He is surrounded by Moses, the lawgiver, and Elijah, the prophet, designating Jesus as the law of all laws and the prophet of all prophets. Therefore, Jesus is the law and the lawgiver, prophecy and the prophet, the voice and divine. This event was to make the apostles aware of Jesus' full nature that they were still trying to figure out. It all points to Jesus' mission, passion, and death. We must remember that he is on his way to Jerusalem, which means Calvary, and Calvary means the cross. Life in general tells us that nothing worthwhile is ever simple or straightforward. In Jesus' transfiguration, we see a connection between suffering and resurrection, death and glory, cross and the crown. There is no crown without the cross, and there is no cross without the crown. The Lord's transfiguration is also meant to fortify the faith, of those who eventually will believe in him. It speaks about the gradual process of change that takes place in our lives when we accompany Jesus. We are called to walk with him in his search for the truth, the beautiful, and the divine. We must be with him in his love for people and in his true understanding of human suffering and recipients of his resurrection. Only in such we can be transformed and eventually transfigured. But Jesus' transfiguration is not a thing of the past. He continues being transformed every time we celebrate the Eucharist and witness the transformation of bread and wine into becoming his body and blood. He continues being transfigured as we enable others to change their physical and spiritual quality of life, remembering that whatever we do to others, we do it to Jesus and for Jesus. When we help others to change, Jesus also changes because he becomes even more real and present. Finally, when we change, when we convert, when we turn our hearts to the Lord, we also become transfigured into something luminous, something holy, and something product of the divine. We become likeness and image of God, his icon, which is Jesus, his beloved Son. Many years ago, I was honored to witness the death of a very holy woman. After a long agony, as she approached her last moment of earthly life, she took her last breath, and her face became radiant, peaceful, and beautiful. I am convinced that she saw the face of God. She was transfigured. We call upon God so that He may enable us to continue seeing His glory in all we do, and in such be transfigured. Only in such we shall be immortal, and we shall be one.